What's up, guys? Devin here, FLG Lacrosse. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm here on FLG Cribs. We're with two Commack standouts. Fellas, do me a favor. Introduce yourselves to the Long Island Lacrosse crowd.
I'm Bobby Abshire. I play midfield. I'll be attending West Point.
And I'm Logan Tobias. I'm a senior face-off midfielder at Commack, and I'm going to the Coast Guard Academy next year to face-off.
Awesome. Great intros right there, fellas. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. Thank you for taking the time out. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Charlie.
So preseason poll number 11 in the LI Lax Journal. It's a pretty big deal considering, how competitive the schools are in Suffolk. Let's kind of talk about the year so far. What are some expectations you guys are, looking at, in your senior season? And what are some things you guys are doing, to get those things accomplished? Bobby, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to take it day by day. I mean, for our seniors, this is the last time we're going to do this, so we just don't want to take anything for granted and just go out there and compete every day. That's all we can ask for.
Definitely. What about you, Log?
Yeah, I mean, we have a motto on our team. It's called, rent is due, so you got to pay the man. So every day we're just trying to get out into the practice field, and you got to see it. We go back and forth. We got a lot of gritty kids out there, so we're just trying to be competitive every time we touch the field.
Amen. Blue-collar work ethic. Love it. Love to hear it. Awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, day by day is huge. Small little steps, those things can segue into big changes. So good for you guys. Let's kind of talk a little bit about your new head coach, Scott Bryan. He's taken over the program. I know that he's been around the program for a while, but, I'm sure there's been some, small minor adjustments, him taking it over. So let's kind of talk about that and what kind of impact he's made so far this year. Lil, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty well briefed as a team that Montana's going to be taking the role over at LIU Post. So having someone to come into that head coaching position that's been around us ever since we came up to the varsity level, it was a pretty smooth transition, and none of us were taken by surprise by it. And, there's a lot of confidence in one another. So we see Brian. He's always been a big film guy, so he's always been in practice early, going over film, staying late, going over film. So you really see that, he's embraced the role fine. And, you guys see the way he runs practice, you could really see the passion that he has for us and this team. And I think me and him are kind of in parallel roles. So with the loss of Kevin Snyder last year, I had to come into the face-off position, and Montana leaving, he came into that head coaching position. So we both kind of got chips on our shoulder, and we're just trying to do the best we can. I think it's working out pretty well so far. So
definitely. That extra effort definitely, goes a long way, and it seems like he cares about you guys, which is always a plus because, any player that knows that his coach cares about him, he's just willing to go the extra mile and play that much harder. Awesome, guys. You guys also return a pretty strong senior core. Not a big senior class, but you guys are definitely, one I'm sure to be remembered, at Commack High School Lacrosse. Let's talk about that a little bit, Mike. What's the dynamic of the senior class kind of like, and what are some things that you guys are doing, in leadership roles, getting your team ready to play?
Yeah, we started this thing as our senior class. We actually started it back in PAL days, and it was called the Tiki. And we give it out to the kid who's just being a warrior every day, bringing it to practice. So we've introduced that to the team, and it's been paying off because, we have kids that are just willing to do anything to get that Tiki. So, and we make that kid captain on game day, and you can just see at the proud.
That's awesome. It's like a little statue kind of thing you guys
it's Tiki.
That's huge. And that's been something that you guys have carried since you guys were little?
It started, I think, when we were in 4th grade. So
wow, that's awesome.
Been around.
Really cool tradition. Is that something that's passed down from year to year, or does every team in Commack do that?
No, it actually started when my dad coached us back in PAL, and then we kind of got away from it, and then we were cleaning out the attic one day, and we're like, oh my God, it's Tiki. And then I was like, I got to bring this thing back in. So this year I kind of just introduced it, and everyone, all the guys were all for it. So it's been great.
Hell yeah, that's motivation, That's something that's earned. And, it's cool that, you guys as players, recognize other players that are doing, the right thing and could potentially, represent your teams. That's really cool, fellas. All right, let's kind of get into your individual roles. Logan, you said you're going to the Coast Guard. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Going to any type of military school, it's a big commitment. Let's first talk about your role at the high school level on your team. I know you're a face-off guy. Talk about that little bit of that pressure, filling in that new role, as well as, what are some things that you do to get mentally prepared, knowing that, all eyes are on you to get the ball for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think my role in the team, it's a lot more than just the face-off role. I play a big role as a short, defensive midfielder as well. But, going into every face-off, I think to an extent you got to take it personally. Every win's got to be, everyone's got to be proud of it. And every time you take a loss, you got to win it back. So, it's pretty simple. You're lining up over the ball. You got to get after it and get it. So I like to take a blue-collar approach to it and do, anything I can. So I think it's kind of a fun position in that it's one of those things, anything goes. It's a big pile up, and you're just duking it out. So I think it's a real man-on-man position. So I think that's what I like best about it. Yeah. And when things are going bad, you just got to, take a quick breath and just, maybe change things up if you have to, stand up if you need to, and just dig your way out. So
definitely keep your composure. Any sort of wrestling background? Do you play any other sports?
The only wrestling I did is with my brother growing up. But, I played football my entire life. And, Bobby's going to make fun of me for saying it, but we're always in the weight room moving weights around. So I think that definitely helps at the X.
Absolutely. But, don't be ashamed.
The rest is tough.
There's no problem about working hard off the field. It's huge. And for any little laxers listening to this conversation, put the time in off the field, man. It definitely pays off, and especially a position that you play that's extremely competitive and that one-on-one battle, kind of like those games within the game. You definitely got to be prepared for it.
Yeah, hit the wall and the barbell.
Amen. I'm sure it helps with your jams on the D side of the ball.
I like to think so.
Good stuff. All right, cool. Let's talk about the Coast Guard. What made you, what influenced you to make that decision, and what are you most excited for next year?
Growing up, I always knew I wanted to go to a military academy. And my dad, having been a chief in the Coast Guard, is something that I always grew up around, down at the boats at the Jones Beach Station. So I had the opportunity to play in front of Coach LaFort the summer going into my junior year, I want to say. And we kind of hit it off. And I went down to the campus just to see what it was all about. And, I think I was struck most by, aside from the mission of the Coast Guard itself, which is the kids there. They want to win. And, they're working hard. And, you see that a huge win over Wesleyan this year. So they have a really good winning culture over there at the Coast Guard Academy. And I feel like it's a team that I want to come into and I want to win games with. And the kids that are going to push me to be the best version of myself. So that's something I'm really excited to do.
Absolutely. And, I think, from watching you play and, just from meeting you now and knowing your work ethic and what you do to get ready and prepared, to play, there's not a doubt in my mind that you could step on campus there and be an impact player. So that's awesome. Congrats, man. All right, Bobby, let's talk about your commitment. Actually, first, let's talk about your role on the team and, what are some things that you do, as a midfielder, to put your team in situations to win ball games.
Yeah, I think it all starts off, helping out. Logan, I play the wing on face-offs as well. So kind of just talking to him, like directing him where he's free, where he's not. And then, when we get on offense, I'm kind of like one of the coaches on the field. I always kind of pride myself on that. And graduating Kevin Snyder last year and Joey Alardi, 2 huge roles. I kind of have to we got new kids that I need to just sometimes, they need to hear it, but they're just kind of out there just helping everyone else out. And yeah, pretty much that's it.
Definitely. Even from being a coach myself, it's definitely a little bit of a weight and, kind of eases a coach's mind a little bit when he knows that he could trust in one of his players to get the job done out there, as well as, be a coordinator in terms of getting everybody situated on the offensive end. So it's pretty huge. And, it definitely shows your leadership skills that you have in order to, fit that role and, trust your teammates to get the job done. But as well as, and I'm sure they're listening to you, being a little bit of a player coach out there definitely helps, teams win ball games. So that's pretty awesome, man. And you mentioned that you're going to Army West Point, another military academy. Thank you for your service. What are some things that influenced you with that decision, and what are you most excited for?
I'm a little different than Logan. I had no military background in my family. But, I mean, when I stepped on campus, I mean, I just saw I can achieve my greatest potential as a person, as a player, and can't ask for any more than that. So, I mean, the coaching staff, the players, they all buy in, and that's what I want, and that's what I look for. And I visited a bunch of different schools, and I mean, I'm set on that. That's what I want.
That's huge, man. And it seems like your outlook and your perspective on that situation is that you're looking at it more than just lacrosse. I mean, you mentioned you can reach your fullest potential as being a person, and that's huge because this game ends, in 8 years. People have to move on with their lives, and it's definitely it needs to be a thought process in making a college decision. Lacrosse is not everything. I'm gonna have to be someone one day, and it's definitely awesome that you're thinking about that, and how being at a school like that could influence you and potentially groom you into somebody that you're striving to be. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Perfect, boys. Kind of brings us to the end of the interview, but to end it, I kind of want to talk a little bit about your game on Saturday. I know you guys had a little bit of a tough loss tonight against the boys over at West Islip. Not a bad loss, 11-8. It's a pretty good score, man. It definitely shows that you guys can hang with top contenders in Suffolk. And you guys got another big game coming up on Saturday. Let's talk about the Sachem North game and, what are some keys to victory there, as well as, you guys got one day of practice. So let's talk about what you guys need to do tomorrow to get prepared for that game on Saturday.
I mean, one of the things that's huge in Commack is that we're not really a big lacrosse town, where historically we're not. And this team is really just trying to show everyone that we are. And it's not enough for us to contend with those big game teams. And we're looking to pull off some big wins. As far as Saturday goes, we have a lot of talent on our team. I mean, Gus Huber is one of our defensemen going to Binghamton. He's an absolute stud. And Liam Walsh in the attackman. He's got a rocket shot going to Manhattan next year. So we're just going to need, our big players to step up. As also the guys got to come off the bench and make some huge plays. But other than that, I mean, no one's got to play excellent. We just need to get our jobs done. So if everyone does what they're supposed to do, we're going to come out of there with a win. So.
Amen. What about you, Bobby?
I think it just starts tomorrow practice. I mean, after coming off a tough loss today, I mean, we can either fold or we can just bounce back. And I think with Coach Montana, he kind of instilled that in us last year, bounce back. And, I mean, I think Coach Brian has still carried the same qualities and everything. So, I mean, it just starts in the practice field. And if everyone just does their job, as Logan said, we'll take care of business.
Amen. And, you guys definitely have, the leadership qualities to rally the troops and get the job done on Saturday. So, I wish you guys the best of luck. And thank you guys for taking the time out to speak with us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Devin.
Awesome, guys. All right, everybody. Signing out on FLG Cribs. Make sure you tune in next week. Have a good one.